Hi, trig students, or should I say calculus students, because you're almost there. So here's some 7.2 homework hints. The homework was like surprisingly kind. There's only 4 and there's nothing weird. But let's talk about like the buttons for in the calculator. So you'll probably be using the calculator for all 4 of them. So you'll do RREF, and here are just like the steps to get there. So, whoopsies. Let's see if we can get this all in. That's pretty good. Okay, so you're going to go into second matrix, over to the edit tab, and you'll choose matrix A when you edit it. We have another feline here. Actually, it's the same feline. You'll type in the dimensions. So the dimensions first go rows, like across, by columns. So if there's 3 rows and you also have the answer column, so augmented means the answer column is with it, then you'll have 4 columns. You'll type the numbers right over the top, and I know that seems obvious when you do the first one, but when you do the next one, you're like, wait a minute, how do I get rid of those numbers? It's fine. You just type right over the top. And you have to press enter after the last number too, because that stores it in the calculator, so it knows like what your last number was. Then you'll get out to the home screen. You'll go back into matrix. So we're doing second matrix like a whole lot. So if you're not sure, just go into second matrix. And then, you'll choose RREF, and then you'll RREF the matrix. You press enter, and then you get some answers. So there's like 4 different possibilities of answers that I want to talk about. So the first possibility is maybe you get the reduced row echelon form with the diagonal of 1s. And then your answers over here, which there won't be a little dotted line, but in our mind there kind of still is, are just like some numbers. Maybe they're all the same. That's totally fine. Those are just your answers. So the answer would be 5, 5, 5. So there's the X, there's the Y, and there's the Z. That is one possibility. Maybe another possibility is you get a row of zeros, like Mr. G was talking about. If you have something true, like whatever the heck those numbers are, it doesn't really matter. If you have something true like 0 equals 0, then that answer would be infinitely many solutions. That is okay. You can have that. 0 equals 0 is like always true. And then these ones make some constraints on it, so there's not like all answers in the entire world, but there's infinitely many of them because this last line makes like a whole bunch of them. So maybe it's one line in space, and so this point isn't an answer because it's not on the line. But this point is, and so are all of these points as far as it can see on the line. So that's why it's infinitely many and not quite all solutions. Then, if you have a row of zeros, but you get a non-zero answer, then 0 does not equal 6. And so then in that case, your overall answer would be there's no solution. So even though some X's and some Y's could work out, the Z's just couldn't. And so there's no way for all 3 of those things to work out. So that would be no solution. And then there's one other case that I want to show you in the calculator. I didn't get any this time in the homework, but it's a good one to know. It came up in Algebra 2. So I want to show you how to do a little trick. Okay, so sometimes, maybe later this will come up. When you go to put everything in and you're doing the final step and you go like this and you're like, oh my gosh, there's decimals. So you know how in Math Excel it said like simplify your answers? So maybe later it won't accept decimals. And some decimals are rational, like they can be changed into fractions. And I made this one up so that it would. So let's say you get a whole bunch of decimals and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to have fractions. So the calculator trick to do that is you go into the math button. And then the very first option is arrow frac, like, hey, please change these into fractions. So you just press enter, and then you're going to press enter again. Yes, I want to change my answers into fractions if possible. Not all answers can, like root 2 is a decimal that goes on forever and ever, like pi, never repeats. It's not a fraction. So that one, it just wouldn't be able to. But these ones, it can. and then it changes it into nice little fractions, so that might come up too. I'll see you next time for the next hints, and then next time for the next hints, and that's it. We're done, people. Very soon. Good job.